Hi guys, this is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels, and today I have Cathy here. Cathy actually this is the second part of the podcast. Cathy, why don't you do a quick intro as to what you do, what your business is. That way, for those that haven't had a chance to listen to our first podcast, they will know a little bit more about your story, and then we'll go into talking about our love, which is travel as well. So, because I know you have a very special business, and for those that are listening in the podcast block above the podcast as well as YouTube, there will be information on how to reach her website, so you'll be able to also enjoy her products as well. So thank you, Cathy, for being here.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. This is great fun. The company that I work with, it's a company called Revital U. My business I call Hargrave and Friends. And our trademark is we're called the Sample First Company because all of our products we give out samples free for people to try, because the philosophy is you have the right as a consumer to try something before you buy it. And then if you like it, you can buy it. And so we don't sell anybody anything. It's just, here, try this. The only thing I'm going to do is ask you, do you like it or not like it? If you like it, I can tell you how to get it. Boom, that's it. And so we just introduce people to our products that are for energy, weight loss, detox, better mood, concentration, and they are unconditionally guaranteed, and they work great for most people. And so that's what I do.
Great.
And I take all the products because in the first section of this interview, I was saying how it's given me my quality of life back. For 20 years as a cancer survivor, I had no quality of life. And just little simple products like these that are all natural have given me tons of energy, and I'm like a new person.
And I love that. First of all, congratulations on being a cancer survivor, and also congratulations on the success of your business. As a fellow entrepreneur, I always like to support my other entrepreneurs. And because of the energy, and also because of your passion for life, I know you've traveled. So why don't you share a few places that you visited and some of the bucket list places that you would like to go?
Okay, I love to travel. Absolutely love it. So I've taken quite a few cruises. The best one was to Alaska. And I've been down, to Cozumel and Progreso and Bermuda and the Bahamas, all those that people do to get their feet wet, sort of. Oh, that's a pun. And then I lived in Japan 4 years, so I know all about living there. I speak Japanese. I'm kind of rusty because it's been a while, but I love Japan and the people. My bucket list, one place I want to go to is Nepal.
Yes.
Because through the Rotary Club that we were talking about, I have a friend there who has rescued children from dumpsters and from street sides. She's got 16 orphans she takes care of, and my husband and I sponsor that, and we also sell jewelry they make to help sponsor them. And during this pandemic, Nepal is really like a lot of other countries that we don't experience here in the comfortable United States. Then we have no idea what they're going through. And so I want to go to Nepal. I've been to Russia. I love Russia. I've been to Belgium. I've been to England. I want to go to Scotland and Ireland because I am Scottish and Irish. And I want to go to Greece. There's a lot of places I want to go to.
I can tell. And you know what? You have the energy. You can do it all.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yep. Right after law school, I ended up using the last of the loan money. Again, I did pay it back, but the last of our loan money for a 2-month, I backpacked and I stayed at youth hostels, and I did the Eurail pass, and I went, again, this was many years ago, but I traveled by myself, and then I met people, and I flew into Belgium, flew into Amsterdam, and then went down towards, I'm just thinking in my head, I went to Italy, I took the boat over to Greece, and then took the train up and went through Austria and France and Germany, and then we ended up in London. So it was, and then I did sort of a reverse trip many years later with my daughter right after she graduated from high school. She had never been to overseas, so I took a Trafalgar tour, and because I didn't want to drive, and it was the best bus tour, and I can give anyone information on how to do that. But we flew into Rome, and they drove all the way up through Italy and Switzerland, and we ended up in Paris and stayed, and it was great. But some of the places that you mentioned, like Alaska, definitely on my bucket list. I haven't gone. I want to see the glaciers. Nepal for sure. And I do want to mention to everyone, those it's really important to support what the Rotary and the groups that Cathy has mentioned. And so on the little area above the podcast and YouTube, we'll also put information on how you can support the for the jewelry and the families, because again, we oftentimes when we travel, then we appreciate more about what we have here. Because the contrast, we do visit many countries who are equally developed, but there are other countries who are not as equally developed, but they still have beauty and they still have a wonderful culture, but they definitely might have an economic need. So I definitely appreciate what you're saying. And I know that I shared with you I Go for Less wholesale discount travel platform where you can save up to 35%. And one of the things I want to mention to everyone is that when you activate the free platform, even if you're not traveling right now, go ahead and activate it, because every time you do, the foundation associated with that platform also donates to two charities, Mono Relief and Children's International. So every time you activate it, a family is fed just from that activation. So that's one of the reasons why I am trying to have more individuals activate the platform, because I would like to see more families fed. And so like you, I want to make sure that we're helping others. And I also want to make sure that those families in Nepal, those children in Nepal are supported. So, mutually we're going to support each other's groups. And I would just like to say, definitely reach out and think about how you can support someone else in a different country. So, so Cathy, thank you so much for being here. I know that you're going to be on my Cooper Virtual Career Day, which is another podcast for those that aren't aware yet. I started that so that way schools, elementary, middle, and high schools can have a free podcast to share various career paths with children. And I know that I'm interviewing Cathy, but I will be interviewing others, both in the Rotary as well as the Optimist Club and other groups that are out there. And I encourage everyone to check out, service groups in your local community. There are a lot of them. And, if one resonates with you, get involved, because we all, need to help each other. So any last minute thoughts, Cathy, before we kind of move to the career day?
I just thought I've also been to Israel.
Oh, wow.
I loved Israel. I want to live there for a few months each year. And I've never been to Australia. I want to go to Australia.
Australia and New Zealand is definitely on my bucket list. My daughter has some friends in New Zealand, and they have, definitely the landscape. And I was told, and I can't think of it for the life of me right now, but there is a location right in the middle of Australia that has some really cool geographical formation. So that's a scavenger hunt for any of my listeners. Look it up, send me an email with the name of it. Anyway, definitely. Thank you so much for, planting different seeds of, the bucket list and where you've been. Tell me, in Japan, since you've been there for 4 years, before we get off, Any place there that you think that might be off the beaten track that maybe visitors should go and check out?
Oh, yeah. The place that I lived it's the home of the Suzuki method, you know, the music method, and it's called Matsumoto, and it's in the prefecture of Nagano, which people have heard of Nagano because the Olympics was there a while back. And Matsumoto is known as the gateway to the Japan Alps, and it's a beautiful area. And especially near there is a place way up in the mountains. I mean, everything in Japan is mountains, but Utsukushigahara. And then also near there is Kamikochi and Kiso. And it's just a gorgeous area. I would definitely recommend people go there.
Any place that is, any other favorite place that you've visited that may be off the beaten track that just comes to mind?
In Japan?
Yeah.
Well, there's one place too. It's called Izu. It's right on the ocean, and it's a really, really beautiful place.
Good. Then we need to look that up and see how we can go there. Thank you so much for traveling with me on this part of the podcast. And I will talk to everyone later. Be sure to subscribe so that way you can know about other stories that others are sharing with us as we continue on our journey on JCooperTravels. Thank you so much, Cathy.
Thank you.